So since this is a 1 hour short duration webinar and which is focusing on a particular topic, so we will be definitely moving directly to the topic and then talk about the features, and I will try to showcase some of the very new features that are in RACs for Microsoft. So that also we will be focusing on. And before we begin, let me take this opportunity to thank LCIPL for bringing in this free webinar. So LCIPL Lining Candid India Private Limited, so Bangalore. So for any information, they are into corporate training, and you can visit their website www.lcipl.com. I have been associated with this organization for quite a long now, and they have been conducting webinars throughout. And today's agenda will be predominantly mainly on pivot, and how we'll see how we can instantly convert our complex data sets into some meaningful information. And not only that, not only slicing and dicing, we will also see how do we actually convert them into very meaningful charts, and then do some dashboarding. So that is the most important thing and the most interesting part of this particular webinar. So we will be talking about how to instantly convert your pivot charts into a dashboard, and not only a dashboard that will talk to you, an interactive dashboard. So it will just wait for your commands, your clicks to work. So those kind of dashboards we will be making, and we'll see how to work with that. And believe me or not, I have got a part of big data for you today. So I have got a huge data set, and we will be doing some slicing and dicing on that data also, and see how simple Excel tools can help you in gathering insights from a large amount of data. So usually when we talk about analysis, or we talk about data analytics, then actually there are 3 sections. So anybody who is having any issues with hearing or any sound or video, so just check your sound settings, because I see here the icon that is coming for you is not the same. You might be logged in from your different device, I guess, Mamta. Just check the sound settings over there, because it shows a phone rather than a microphone. So just see the device and check your settings. And for your benefit, we will be giving a live demo right here. So anything related to the topic, please feel free to put it in your chat window. I am monitoring this chat window constantly. And anything related to your technical issues, just check your sound settings and video settings, and check your cookies, cache, and your internet connectivity, and all these basic steps. So I hope all of you are able to view this particular screen and listen listen to my voice as well. So we'll proceed from here. Just see there if you have got any issues with the sound and other things. So try to check the settings and other things. So since it is a very short duration module, short duration webinar, so we will directly jump into the main topic. So predominantly what I was talking about is analytics has got 3 sections mainly. One is slicing and dicing of past data, which we call as descriptive analysis. So mainly the companies, all the organizations, they work on slicing and dicing techniques. They get data on daily basis, and then they try to get some information out of that particular data. So that is the major chunk of like analysis that is done. Then we have something called insight, which is actually our Mainly insights would be the part which is running currently. So you can say that right now, whatever is happening in the organization. So I'm getting some responses saying that we are not able to hear. Can you just, participants, can you please put it in your chat window whether you are able to hear me or not and see the screen or not? Can you please put it in the chat window whether you are able to hear, whether the sound is coming absolutely fine or not? Yes, 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 yes. So I can see. Okay, great, great. Yes, okay, great. So people who are not able to hear me, I would request you to just check the sound settings, or the best thing we can do is just log out and log in once again. So at times what happens, the sound hardware are not detected properly by GoToMeeting environment. So the same thing happens to other participants as well. So we just suggest them to just log out and log in and check the hardware, the sound settings, whether it is perfectly working or not. Check the sound, microphone and speaker settings. So it should be fine, because I see that all other participants are able to hear and see the screen as well. So thanks all of you for sharing this details. So today's session will be depend totally on this slicing and dicing. So we were talking about insights, and Excel also has the capability to forecast data. So mainly doing the what we say it foresight. So hindsight, insight, and foresight. These are the three sections. Today's session is dedicated to hindsight techniques. We'll see how do we slice and dice data. So for you, we have got some good data sets. So I will be talking mainly on this particular data set. So this is a sample data sets of sales and cost throughout some financial years, some months, and the monthly data is there. So some salesperson, some products, and some channel partners. So these all the data is. It's a very simple data, sales data mainly. And I will also show you something on a part of big data. So this is actually a census data, so that we will be working on to see how pivots can help. Uh, okay, so we need to check the sound settings because all other participants are able to hear me. So this means the sound settings are absolutely fine. And from my side, I can see that all participants are on microphone setting. Uh, okay, so I see that you are logged in from a phone. So there was a pin that was required. I have just sent the pin to you. So just use that pin and log in, so you will be able to hear me as well. So you have logged in from a phone. So I've just sent you a pin. Yeah. So I have just sent the pin. Just enter the pin. You will be able to hear. So you are on phone, I see. So that is why the issue is. So yeah. So once you enter the pin, you will be able to hear. So let's move on to the data. So whenever you have data and you would like to actually do some analysis on any kind of data, the first thing that we need to do is to make a pivot out of this particular data. So let's see how do we make a simple pivot out of this data. So to make the pivot, the best thing is to just highlight the entire data. This is how you highlight. Control Shift. So go to the first cell and say Control Shift right arrow down arrow. It will highlight the entire data set. So The idea behind highlighting the data set is to actually ask questions to this particular data set. So we will highlight it, and from you can either go to insert and say that, okay, show me the pivot table. That is one way. Or there is a shortcut method also. After you have highlighted, simply from your keyboard say Alt D P. The moment you say Alt DP, you will actually see that a screen has come, which is the pivot wizard. And then what you can do, you can go into the pivot wizard, but I won't suggest you to go to the pivot wizard, because then there is no point giving this webinar to you if you can work with direct wizard as well. So I will go by the actual technique, how pivot works. So the moment you go to pivot, see, this pivot is actually a very important tool, more than VLOOKUP and other functions. So often when I ask people that, okay, what are your pain points? They say pivot, VLOOKUP, macro. Only three things. Now I say that VLOOKUP is no more a pain. I will show you why. I have some reasons to say why. So VLOOKUP is no more there. So the era of VLOOKUP has gone. So don't forget, don't bother about VLOOKUP. The era of pivot is coming. Fine. So slicing and dicing and dragging and dropping will be there in the coming years as well. So the focus should be on the pivots. And definitely once you are master in pivots and once you are master in how to design your templates and all, you can definitely work on the macros. That is again the next point that we have. So like we do take several training sessions and other things on these Excel topics, advanced Excel topics, and Power Tools and Power BI. So many analytics and BI and all other things are there. But today's session is predominantly focused on slicing and dicing using pivots. So here we are, we have got our pivot screen. On the left hand side, I see the pivot screen, and on the right hand side, I see the table columns. Now what we are going to do, first of all, see, you can see that the moment you have seen the pivot, there are 4 sections over here in the down. They are filters, columns, rows, values. So all of them have their own roles to play. But the most important role is played by rows and values. Now, what happens is that once you have got the pivot, you can actually drag and drop here to see how the output is. But when you are learning pivot, when you are learning the techniques of slicing and dicing, I suggest to all my participants that please move to the classical view. Classical view is the view where you can actually visualize things happening. So you can see dragging and dropping actually working. So how do you go to that slicing and dicing part? You can simply right click on this particular pivot and say pivot table options. The moment you go to pivot table options, you will see that it has come up with display. There's an option called display. You will see something called classic pivot table and say okay. So this is your pivot table. This is how it looks like. Now, directly on this particular screen, you can drag and drop. So instead of dragging and dropping things here, you can now drag and drop here. See how simple it is. The first question that I'm going to ask to this organization is, how many products you are working on? So what are your product lines? So what it does, it simply takes this product and drops it in the row. Automatically, you see that the product lines are here. Then I say, okay, fine, I've got the product lines. Could you please tell me these product lines, which are the areas that you're focusing on? So I said, okay, I have the region. The moment I bring in the region over here, wow, I can instantly see the pivot changing into a different region-wise data. So now I see that all of them are actually sold in different regions, and all of them are sold in all the regions over here. So you can see that. Now I say that, okay, fine, you can show me the products and the region, but how about the data? I just wanted to check how was my sales in all these regions for all these products. I says, fine, absolutely fine. Take the sales, drop it here. The moment I take the sales and drop it, automatically you can see that sales have come here. Now this is one view. This is you can say it's a one directional view. So you can change this. You can say that, okay, fine, I want region wise, product wise data. See what happens? Automatically region wise, product wise data has come. So it all depends on how you want your data to be and what type of questions you have in your mind for your data. So based on that, you can ask the questions and your system will give you answers. The pivot will give you answers. Next thing. So this was just a pivot for your regular data. Now this is a one-dimensional data. This one-dimensional data has got one facility. You can see the what you call it as a subtotal as well. So subtotals are always visible over here. Now what you can do, you say that, okay, I don't want the subtotals. So what you can do, you can simply come to this particular place and simply say control and minus. The moment you say control and minus, you can see that all your subtotals are gone now. So it gives you a snapshot view of all your products and regions. Now you say that I want to bring it back. How do I bring it? You simply right click on any one of these sales region and simply say here subtotal. The moment you say subtotal, it comes back. See how simple it is. So it is just the way you are looking at your data. Then you say that, okay, fine, this is a one-dimensional data. Is it possible to create a two-dimensional data? I say, yes, it is possible to create a two-dimensional data. So sales region-wise product. The moment I take my products and I come here, I can see how simple it is to make a region-wise, product-wise data. This particular pivot is known as a cross-tab pivot. We call it as a cross-tab pivot. So it has got two axes, X and Y axis, you can see. So it's a cross-tab view. So Excel can be used for making different types of pivots. So this was just a glimpse of what Excel pivots can do. Now take an example that I say that, okay, I'm not interested in looking into the numbers. Is it possible that you show me region wise, how was my sales? Or can you show me anything related to my channel partners? So who are my top channel partners and all? So I said, okay, fine. I can bring in the top channel partners. See, one thing here, which is very simple to understand. Let's say we make region wise data. So region wise sales we have got. Now, what I can do, I can simply copy this particular pivot and I can simply paste it. It is as simple as it is. So you can see that region wise data has come and another pivot has come. I say I don't want the region wise data. I would like to see my customers. Who are my customers? And customer wise sales I would like to see. So I see customer wise sales. Now I am looking for, let's say, not only customer, I am looking for a particular factor over here. So I see that these customers are actually giving us some profit, right? So we are selling something, so we have some cost. So ultimately what we are doing, we are getting some profit out of that sales and cost. So we want to find out which customer is giving me what kind of profit. So what I can do, I can simply bring in the cost over here. So I see sales and cost has come. Now I say that, okay, I would like to get the third component, which is the profit component. See how simple it is to bring in the profit component. I will just show it to you. If you go to analyze, you will see something called field items and sets. The moment you click on field items and sets and say calculated field, you see that the calculated field screen is in front of you. Now you want to make the profit. I'm sorry, you want to show the profit. Profit has already been made. So now you say that profit is here. What is profit? Profit is definitely sales minus cost. So you simply say sales. So how do you say it? You say sales minus, you can double click on this cost also, or you can click and say insert field, sales minus cost. The moment you say okay, you see that profit margin has also been added over here. Now it is up to you. You don't want the sales and the cost to be there. Your profit margin is here. So getting data from calculated fields is also very easy. in your pivot charts and pivot tables. Now I'm going to show you something very different. So what I do, I take another pivot and I prepare another pivot over here. Now this particular pivot is not focused on customers or profit and all other things. I would like to focus on the channel partners. So simply I remove this customer and I bring in something called channel partners. See, all the channel partners are here. Now let's see the magic. I'm not interested to see all the channel partners. What I'm interested is I just want to see who are my top 5 channel partners, let's say. So what we can do, I can simply, how I'm deciding who are my top channel partners, who has given us the maximum profit. So what I can do, I can click here and you see something called value filters. In value filters, you will see something called top 10. The moment you click on top 10, you have two options here, top and bottom. So this means you can see the bottom channel partners also. And here also you have an option to reduce this 10 to 5, let's say. The moment you say OK, you see the top 10 or top 5 channel partners. See how simple it is to get the data. So profit of top 10 channel partners. Who are my top 10, top 5 channel partners? With respect to profit, I can see it directly over here. Now, the magic begins. So what I want, I would like to see some data in a visualization format. So this was just a numeric format. I would like to see the visualization format. So I'm in the process of actually making my dashboard. So let's see. It took us around 5 to 10 minutes to decide on what kind of data we want and what kind of charts, what kind of pivot we are looking for. So the next step is to make a dashboard. So dot 5 minutes from now, we will be making the dashboards. So see here, dot 5 minutes right now. For making the dashboard, you simply do one thing. You bring some space. So we have some space over here. And then what you do, you make some charts from these tables. So I have got 3 pivot tables. So from 3 pivot tables, I can make 3 pivot charts. So if you are interested in making some other charts as other pivots as well, so you are welcome. So suppose let's take an example. I make another pivot chart. So let me make 4 so that I can show you the entire details over here. See, I'm just making one more pivot table, and this time the pivot table is not on region, but this is based on order. So for order base, how was my sales? Now if you look at this order base, I'm not interested in looking into day wise data. So Excel pivots also allow you to group data. So let's see, how do we group data? Always remember, grouping can be done only when your data is a value. Value means it is a numeric field. So then only, so you know that date is also a number in Excel. So that's why it is possible to group this dates as well. See how we group the date. The moment I click on this particular, right click on this particular date, it shows something called group. The moment I click on this, you can see automatically it has shown us the months. So the months I see and I say okay. So now instantly I can see month-wise sales. And I bring in the cost as well. So month-wise sales and cost. See how simple it is to gather some insights from this data. So it was a huge repository. I just converted into a simple pivot, which is based on the monthly data. Now let's quickly make the charts. We will simply go to the first pivot and then we go to analyze. We go to pivot charts. I am okay making it as a 3D column chart. See how simple it is. 3D column chart. See, one 3D column chart is made. I don't require this legend, so we can remove it. So we'll do the modification in a short while, but for the time being, we just bring in the charts. So the next chart that I'm going to bring in will be, let's say, based on this column itself. So the profit margin based on some customers. So here also I can bring in some clustered column chart. So this also customer based profit. So two charts I have brought. Let me have some more space so that I can bring in the two other charts as well. So here we go. The channel partners. So channel partners, let me bring in analyze pivot chart. And this time I would like to go in for a bar chart. Let me see how it looks like. Wow, bar chart. The top channel partners are there as a bar chart over here. So this is your dashboard in the process. See how simple it is. And the fourth one. So we click on the fourth one. And this chart, let's give it a twist. So this has got two columns. What is the best chart to make out of these two columns? Let's see. So if you go to analyze, if you go to pivot chart, so this is a regular chart that we see. Now there's a problem with this sales and costs. I don't want them to be shown in one series. So what Excel has got? Excel has got something called combo charts. The moment we click on combo charts, we see how it works. So now I say that, okay, sales and cost should not be put on the same axis. So what I can do, I can simply take the cost on the secondary axis. Look at this chart, superb. The moment I say, okay, your chart is done. So right in 5 minutes, we could make 4 charts out of these 4 data points, and they are complex charts, includes complex charts as well. So quickly within a minute, what we will do, we will modify this. What to modify? We don't want this buttons to be appearing on the chart. So what I will do, I will right click and simply say hide all buttons. I will right click and say hide all buttons. Since it is one thing, so I can do like this. I will click here and say hide all buttons. I will click here and say hide all buttons. So now I have got a super chart. So 4 charts are here. Now let me do some small changes. This is a legend. You can go to format legend and then you can click on bottom. So you get some more space out of this particular data. So now we have got it something like this. So this becomes my mini dashboard. Now, the objective is not only to create these 4 charts, but to talk to them. So let's proceed and make these charts interactive. So before making these charts interactive, why not to put some designs on them? So this is a simple chart. So I say I want a design. So let me give this particular design. I come here, I take this design. I come here, I say this particular design. And I come here, I say a design like this. So there are different types of designs available. So you can take this design as well. So see, different types of charts, different types of data we have over here. So now what I can do, I can simply, let me get some space. So what we can do, we can simply clear off these lines, something like this. See, you go to view, and if you just click outside, if you go to view, you can remove the grid lines. See, it looks like a white page. Okay. And then you can do some formatting as well. and all these stuff you can do. And then what you can do, you can actually bring in something very interesting over here. So let's click on this particular total. So this is region wise sales. So I can just put region wise sales, and this is actually customer wise profit, and then you have top channel partners, something like this. So once you have got the data, see how easy it is to make them interactive. Click, click on any one of these charts and then go to analyze, and there's an option called insert slicer. The moment you click on insert slicer, you will see that a whole list of slices are there from which you can actually take your data points. So let's say I'm looking for something called financial year. I'm looking for something called sales quarter. I'm looking for something called customer, products, salesperson, sales region. So mainly the headings I can take, and I can take the month also, and if you want you can take the channel partners also. So these are my actual groups. The moment I say okay, you see that all your details are here. So now what I can do, I can just take it like this. See how simple it is. So just we need to format this mainly. So how will you format? We go to slicer options, and then we have an option to put it like this. See how simple it is. So all my channel partners are visible here. Okay. So now you can see here the data looks like this. It is a long list. So because it's a long list of channel partners, so you can see here on the right hand side, what I can do, I can put the customer details, only 4 customers, and then I can modify like this. I can have, we can also have the product details over here like this, like this. So if I am not satisfied with the font size and all these things and height and width and all these things, so that also can be modified. There is something called slicer options through which you can actually modify, you can change the settings and other options as well. So similarly, you have the month, we have the financial year. So let's take something, let's make some things over here. So put the slices. So we have brought in so many slices. So maybe we can just delete a few of the slices, because our idea is to just see how these details work here. So we have brought in this 3-4 slices. So here is your dashboard. Now the dashboard is actually, so what we can do, see products we have, if you want we can remove. So idea is to make it as beautiful as you can, and the way we are bringing in the slicers, that is also very important. So always remember that whatever data points you have, you're supposed to bring in a slicer for that. So here I have all these groups, so I can bring in these slicers. See how simple it is. So I have got all the slices on my dashboard. So now how do we actually interact with this? So if I say that, okay, if I just click on bottles, see here, the moment I click on bottles, I see that how is my regional sales for bottles, for ice cubes. See, you can see there. If I click on this cross, it comes back. Now, if you have noticed, only the single chart, this particular chart is responding to my clicks. Others, so other charts are not responding. So if I just wanted to see that how was my 2014, how was my 2013, so you can see all these details over here. How is this Paula Jones doing? So Paula Jones is actually managing the Europe section, so you can see here directly. So these are some of the insights that you can get from the data just by using these interactive tools. So now let's do one thing. We have to actually connect all these charts with this options. So what you do, you simply say report connections. Just right click on all these pivot slicers and say report connections and connect all the pivots. This is a one-time activity, but believe me, once you have done it, you will love to see how these charts are talking to each other and they are obeying your commands and your clicks also. This is just a one-time activity. Oh, sorry. So go to report connections like this, and like this. So now look at this particular option. So now automatically you can see that all my charts are linked to this particular details. So now if I simply say, how is my 2012? Simply just a click will work. Look at this entire dashboard now. This is how my dashboard looks like. So if I simply say, how is my 2012 looking like? How is my 2013 looking like? Look at the charts, how they are responding to my clicks. And then if I say that, okay, can you show me how is this particular ABC Telecom working? So instantly you can see ABC Telecom is there in all the regions. They are providing data or they are our channel partners is all these places. So I can see like this. So based on the requirement, you can actually work. You can say that, okay, fine, I would like to have the different years and based on a particular product. So all these things you can do directly on your data. So here, even if you manipulate these values, that is going to work out there. So you can say top 10. So you can see here, top 10 has come. So top 10, top 5, based on this, you can see how simple it is to work with your data. All your data points are talking to each other. Look at this. So this is what the dashboard or slicing and dicing that we wanted to show it to our participants. So Excel is lot more than only this interactive dashboards and all. So this was just a glimpse of what dashboarding can do, how slicing and dicing can be done in Excel. So I hope that you were able to like gather some insights or gather some information from this particular demo on how did we actually work on a particular data. It was simple, plain and simple, flat data it was. But how did we converted this particular data into a dashboard within just a half an hour? Not even half an hour time. So that is one topic we wanted to focus on. Now, apart from making the dashboards, Excel also allows you to work on huge data sets. And it has got some very interactive and interesting features over here. So let me show you one of those features. So just a moment. Yeah. So let me show you the next table. Look at this. There is, I will take a data set. This is a big data set actually. Why this is a big data set? This is actually a part of census. There's a province called Ontario in Canada. So we have just got some data. I've downloaded it from the government server. So these all data sets are available. free of cost. If you are keen to do some analysis on some government data or some past data, or you want to contribute um, your, like, you can share your analysis skills to the for the betterment of this living place or this world, then government has shared data for that. So you can bring out some insights and interactivity. You can bring out some good information out of that data as well. So this is just a small step towards that. So just wanted to check, like, I gathered some census data. So I believe me, it was a huge data set. I have just taken a small part of it so that we can focus on a particular section and see that how simple 2 or 3 columns can give you a whole lot of different type of insight from your data. So this is actually a data for 90 years, more than 90 years of census data for this particular province. So you don't believe me, you just go to the bottom part, you see that there are almost around 83,000 records in this particular table. And this is just a part of that data set. So I want to gather some insights out of this data. So first of all, what you will do, you will remove this particular heading because this heading is not required. That was just a part of the report. Now, what kind of data it is and what kind of information we can gather from this data? Let's understand this. So if you talk about this year, if you talk about any of this particular set, you can say that, okay, in the year 1996, the name Alia was used or was taken by 11 parents. So this is all for female kids in Ontario. Now, if I have been given this particular data set, the first thing or the first thing that will come into my mind is to understand what is the population trend. So I have got 90 years of data. It's a huge data. Is it not possible to find out the population trend? See, Excel allows you to do that very instantly. See here, you just select the entire data set. How do you select? You go to the first cell, A1 cell, press Control and Shift and say right arrow, down arrow. The moment you say right arrow, down arrow, it selects the entire 83,000 records. Now, as I told you, the best way to ask from your data is to make a pivot. So I say Alt DP and I say finish. So automatically it makes a pivot table. I go to classic pivot by right clicking. I go to display. I say classic pivot. I say okay. This is my pivot. Instantly, I just wanted to check how is my population trend. So the moment I say year, so it gives me year data. So from 1917 till 2010, I told you. So almost around 90 years data we have got here. And then we say frequency. Frequency is the number of times the name was selected. Now this is giving me a count. I'm not interested in count because I don't want to see how many names were used. But I wanted to see what was the actual population. So what I will do, I will change this count to sum. The moment I change the count to sum, I can see that, okay, fine, in 1917, 29,000 kids were born, female kids were born in that particular area. So likewise, we have the data. So why not 2? Because see, human mind is not capable of crunching numbers like this. So there are extraordinary people, I don't deny that, but usually we can't crunch these numbers. So Excel has given us a very important tool to visualize data. So what we can do, we can simply make a chart out of it. How do we make it? We simply click on this particular pivot, anywhere you click, and go to pivot chart and see the chart is already there. You have to just say okay. If you are not satisfied with the clustered column chart, you can go ahead and take the line chart or other charts as well. So I'm satisfied with the column chart, and here comes the chart. So you can see the entire 90 years data. You can see the population trend, how it was on the peak during this 1950s, and then it slowed down. So now it is also in a stagnant position within this particular range. So you can just in a click of a button, you can see how your data responds. Now I will show you something very important and very interesting out of this particular data. Remember that this was just 3 columns that we started from. It was year, it was name, and it was frequency. That's it. There was no other data that was available to us. The only benefit we had it was a 90 years old data. So 90 years or almost around a century uh, old data we have got with us. So let's take an advantage of that. So we remove that chart because we have seen that population trend. Now we are interested in something else. So what we do, we take the year at the top. The moment I take the year at the top, it changes the pivot structure. Now, let's do one thing. Let's bring in the name over here. The moment I bring in the name over here, it definitely takes some time to bring in the name because it's a huge data set. Now I see that some names have come and some years are also here. Now, the moment I got this particular data, one question came in mind. I have got the population and census data and the names are also here with me. Is it not possible to find out which was the most popular name throughout these 90 years or 100 years? So which was the name that most of the parents chose for their kids? Yes, it is possible. What is the logic? You see the grand total is there. You simply do one thing. We just sort the data. You go to data and say control or Z2A. The moment you say Z2A, look at the magic. So since it's a big data, it is taking some time to sort the data. So it will come up calculating the pivot table report and here it is. So now we have got the top number. And the moment we scroll down towards our left, we see, yes, Mary is the most popular name, followed by Mary, followed by Jennifer, Margaret. These are the top names in that particular Canada province, which has been chosen by their parents. So now I see something very interesting and some analysis out of my simple data. See how easy it is to work with Excel and how easy it is to gather analysis or like inferences from your data sets. Now what I do, I have got my data. So I have got the data names and years and everything. So it's a huge data set. Why not to remove the pivot? Because I don't need the pivot anymore. I've got the data. So what I will do, I will simply select the entire sheet. How do you select the entire sheet? You can click on the small triangle rectangle box over here and simply say copy and right click anywhere and simply say paste special values. The moment you say paste special values, you will see that that particular pivot has gone. Now, something is like uh, giving me a kick to ask some questions. Look at this Mary and Mary. I don't have any issues. They were there from last 90 years, and it won't amaze me if I see them at the top. That is fine. But how come this Jennifer name has come to the third position? His name was not there for so many months or so many years, but still it was able to capture the third position. So this creates creates some inquisitiveness in our mind. So we are now heading towards making some analysis out of this data. Let's see how interesting this is. We go to the right side and we are now, because I told you that human minds are not capable of crunching a huge amount of data. So we have different tools to do that. Fine. So generally we are not capable of working with such a huge amount of data. So what we can do, we can take help of the analysis tools and that too the common tools. So simply what I do, I take some space. Objective is to make a trend line out of this 90 years of data. See how simple it is. You just take your cursor in that particular cell. So I just give it a name as trend. So I just wanted to see how is the trend looking like for this particular census data. I take my cursor there And then I go to something called insert. And in insert, I'm not looking at chart right now because chart we already seen, and chart is like we all know also how charts work. Something very interesting is coming up now. We go to something called spark lines, and then I go to something called line. The moment I click on spark line and line, you see that it is asking for location and data range. Since I have already clicked on this particular cell, it has already taken the location range. Now it is asking for data range. The moment I click on this data range, see here, I simply take left arrow, left, I select the entire data set. The moment I press OK, look here, it has created a trend line. Wow, great. So now what happens, if I just copy this down, something like this, it is, sorry. It shows me the trend line. So now something I could gather over here, that this particular name Mary and Mary, both of them are showing similar kind of trend lines, and both of them were at their peak level sometimes around 50 years back, but now they are losing their popularity. So both of these names, whereas this Jennifer name was not there for the first 20-30 years, but it suddenly came and that became a very popular name, but it could not maintain its popularity for a long time, and that is also now losing its popularity. So most of the top names what was there in the beginning are now losing their popularity. So why not to find out which name is gaining popularity? So let's see whether we have some upward trend for some names or not. So we will just scroll it down and let me see whether some upward trends are there or not. Definitely some names are there. Yes. So we have got two names here. I'm not sure which is this name. We will come to that. But look at these two names. Wow. Look at this name. This was there. So this was there since the beginning. For means past 1 century, this name is there. But it actually lost its popularity for almost 50-60 years. But suddenly it gained popularity and now it is a very popular name. And look at this particular name. It is a new entrant. Hardly past 20-30 years this name has come, and it is at its peak now of popularity. So let's see which are these two names, this name and this name. Hold on your breath. So we go towards the left. The moment I go towards my left, I see, oh, Grace and Olivia. Olivia, this name is actually gaining popularity nowadays. And Grace was there for past 90-100 years, but now again it is gaining popularity. So these kind of insights from data you can gather instantly using Excel. So like instantly you can see how the names, and this is just an example of gathering some insights. So there are different techniques. So the focus here was just to do some slicing and dicing and see how can we gather some information from a data. So you see that a plain and simple data, a census data, how did we arrived to some inputs for some like knowledge out of this particular data. So this was the main objective for this particular session. So before we end this session, I would like to show you something very interesting. Excel nowadays, or I won't say nowadays, for past 5 years it is there. So Excel now has the capability to make dashboards from different tables. I told you at the beginning that bye-bye to VLOOKUP. Why I said that? Look into this particular demo. Excel now has the capability to actually work with different types of workbooks. So you can see that you can actually get data from Azure, you can gather data from Hadoop, from Facebook, from SAP, from Salesforce CRM, And it can also connect directly to your Oracle, IBM, DB2, SQL, Progress, and Sybase Teradata databases. So this is the power of Excel right now. So 2013 version I'm right now using, and this has got all the inbuilt capabilities of working with all the databases. It can gather data from Wikipedia as well. It can gather data from a search catalog as well. And look at this. These are all separate tables. You can see separate tables are there, but they can be created as a pivot directly by dragging and dropping. Can you see that these are all three separate tables? And how did I create a table, a pivot table out of three tables in Excel? This is Excel and these are tables. But see, how did we connect it? So Excel now allows you to actually create data models. So that's why I said bye-bye VLOOKUP, because Excel now has the capability to actually create different types of data models. And let me show you. So different options are here. Just a moment. See, all these things we have this options to create different types of data models. We can connect our databases and we can actually create our dashboards directly on Excel. So this is what today's Excel is. You can see the relationships between the tables also. See, this is possible in Excel now. Directly you can create relationships and see, look at this particular table. So you can actually create data models out of this particular table. You can connect them directly using this concepts. So, and before we end this session, I would like to show you one more component of Microsoft, that is BI, business intelligence, and we call it Power BI. Whatever you saw here can be actually made as a dashboard using this particular tool called Power BI. You see here, this is the kind of dashboards it can make. Look at the visualization capabilities. The same tables, can you see the same tables are here on the right hand side, and we can actually create different types of charts from our data. So directly just by clicking, you can see that it's just a drag and drop and nothing else. You can simply say drag and drop and you can see how it actually identifies. Look at this. I just incorporated city and it actually took the city name and it actually took me to that particular place. See, this is the power of visualization from Microsoft tools. And one thing more, the same thing is now on app as well. So this is the Power BI app. This has the capability to give answers to your questions also. So if I say show city, look at this, I'm writing in English language and automatically shows me the cities. So it understands my English language also and gives me the output. I say show city wise budget. See, it automatically budgeted amount. If I simply say like this, so city wise budgeted amount, look at this. I'm writing in English and it is showing me the chart. So this is the power of Power BI. And this data has actually connected, it's actually connected to your Excel. These are the data sets actually. These are all Excel data sets. So this is where your analytics is heading towards. So it's a huge transition from where we had the analysis or analytics and to where it has actually heading towards. So with that, we will finish this webinar session, and I hope it was an informative session for all of you. So any queries, anything that you have regarding this particular session or any feedback, please feel free to put it in your chat window. So we do take several sessions on BI and data analysis and Excel and advanced Excel and macros programming and all these things. Thank you. Thank you. So Any queries if you have, you can just put in that particular screen. So thank you all of you for joining this particular session. So hope it was a good learning experience for all.